Hi friends and welcome back. In today's video we will learn about the life of Mark Zuckerberg, the man who created Facebook, one of the biggest social media platforms in the world. This story is told in simple and slow English, perfect for English learners who are just starting or coming back after a break. Listen carefully, and don't forget to answer the questions in the comments to check your understanding. Now let's begin. Mark Zuckerberg was born on May 14, 1984, in White Plains, New York, USA. He grew up in a small town called Dobbs Ferry. His father was a dentist and his mother was a psychiatrist. Mark had 3 sisters and they all lived in a comfortable, loving home. His parents believed in education and supported their children in learning new things. At age 6, Mark started using a computer. He became very interested in how computers worked. He wasn't just playing games, he wanted to know how games were made. Soon he started learning how to write code and make small programs just for fun. When he was only 12 years old, Mark created a program called ZuckNet. It helped his father's dental office send messages between rooms, like an early version of a chat app. His father was so surprised that his son could build something so useful at such a young age. Mark also enjoyed learning different languages and loved classical music. He studied hard in school and showed interest in many things: science, math, and philosophy. Because he was so bright, his parents sent him to Phillips Exeter Academy, one of the best high schools in the U.S. While in high school, Mark made another program called Synapse Media Player, a music software that could learn what songs the user liked and suggest new ones. Big tech companies like Microsoft and AOL wanted to buy it and even offered him a job. But Mark said no. He wanted to go to college first. So he chose Harvard University. Mark started Harvard in 2002. There, he met other smart students and became known for being a computer genius. But his journey didn't start with Facebook. First, he created a website called FaceMash. One evening after a bad date, Mark made FaceMash just for fun. It allowed Harvard students to compare 2 pictures of their classmates and vote on who was more attractive. It became very popular, very fast. Over 22,000 views in just 4 hours. But the school shut it down quickly because he used student photos without asking. He was warned by the school. Next, he made a program called Course Match, which helped students choose classes based on what other students picked. Again, it used university data, and again the school was not happy. Mark got in trouble a second time. But people began to notice his skill and creativity. He was soon invited to work on a project called Harvard Connection, an early version of a social network. But Mark had bigger ideas. He quietly left that team and started building his own website with his friends. On February 4, 2004, they launched the Facebook.com, a website that allowed Harvard students to create profiles and connect with each other. Within 2 days, over 750 students signed up. Students were excited. The website was fresh, fun, and easy to use. It quickly expanded to other big schools like Yale, Columbia, and Stanford. This was the beginning of something very big. Because of how fast Facebook was growing, Mark decided to leave Harvard and move to Silicon Valley, California, the center of technology in the U.S. He was only 20 years old. He and his small team opened their first Facebook office in 2004. It was not a fancy building, but they worked hard. They believed in their idea. In 2005, they got a big investment of $13.7 million from a company that believed in Facebook's future. That same year, they added the news feed, a feature that showed what your friends were posting and doing. Today, it's a normal part of every social media site, but back then it was something new. In 2007, Mark paid $200,000 to buy the domain name Facebook.com. He removed the from the name and simply called it Facebook. The platform continued to grow fast, and more people joined every day, not just students but people of all ages. Mark was now the CEO of a rising tech company. but he still wore a hoodie and jeans to meetings. He wanted to keep things simple and focus on building great products, not dressing up. By 2010, Facebook had over 500 million users. 2 years later, in 2012, that number doubled to 1 billion users. To celebrate, Facebook became a public company, selling stock and raising $16 billion, one of the biggest tech IPOs in history. Mark didn't stop there. He began buying other popular platforms. In 2012, he bought Instagram for $1 billion. In 2014, he paid $19 billion for WhatsApp, a messaging app used around the world. He also bought Oculus, a company that makes virtual reality devices. But Facebook also started facing big problems. In 2018, the company was involved in a scandal with Cambridge Analytica. This company used Facebook data to target voters during the US elections. People were angry. They felt their private information had been misused. Mark had to speak in front of the US Congress and answer hard questions. Facebook paid a fine of $5 billion. Many users started to #delete Facebook. Even so, Facebook still remained important to billions of people. 2021, Mark made a big decision. He changed the company's name from Facebook to Meta. Why? Because he believed the next future of the internet would be in the metaverse, a virtual world where people could meet, play, and work using VR headsets and digital spaces. He wanted Meta to be more than a social media company. He wanted it to be a technology leader. But building the metaverse was expensive and hard. Many people did not understand it, and it didn't grow as fast as Mark hoped. At the same time, Facebook's main app was losing young users to platforms like TikTok, which offered short, fun videos. This forced Mark to change direction again. Now he is focusing on AI, artificial intelligence. AI is already used in Facebook to show ads and suggest content. But Meta wants to compete with big names like Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI. They are investing millions of dollars into AI tools and research. Mark knows the internet is changing fast and he wants Meta to stay at the top. Mark Zuckerberg is one of the most successful tech leaders of our time. But his journey has not been easy. He faced many challenges: legal problems, public criticism, and growing competition. He was once a college student with an idea. Now he leads a giant company with thousands of employees and global impact. He learned many lessons: to build fast but also to protect privacy, to stay creative but also responsible. People sometimes call him cold or robotic, but those close to him say he is focused, hardworking, and cares about the future. In 2023, Mark launched a new app called Threads to compete with Twitter. It's still early to know if it will succeed, but Mark is not afraid to take risks. He believes in learning by doing. And that's the story of Mark Zuckerberg, a smart, curious boy who turned his passion for coding into a company that changed the world. We hope this story helped you practice your English and inspired you to follow your dreams. Listen again to improve your vocabulary and understanding, and don't forget to answer the questions in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel and get more true stories told in simple English. See you in the next video.